Boy, do we got something in store for you today. We got the ASUS ROG Crosshair X870E in our hands. What is so special about it? Why would you want to upgrade to something like this? Well, let's take a look and see if it's really worth upgrading. Thanks to ASUS, we have this motherboard so that way we can show you guys, and we're even going to do a PC build. First things first, we're going to unbox this and I'm going to show you what's inside. And also, if you are interested in seeing the PC build, make sure to check down in the description box down below. And if you're interested in purchasing an ASUS ROG Crosshair X870E, make sure you go down to the description box down below. There may be a giveaway coming soon, and make sure you stay tuned to this channel to find out what that is. So let's open this up and see what this motherboard does offer. Take a look at that. That is beautiful. Even ASUS gives you the instructions on how this new motherboard is set up, and I can't wait to show you these new features. But if you do forget it, or you forget anything that I do show you, at least there are some instructions here. And make sure you always read the manual, because when it comes to motherboards, there will always be something new, as you will see shortly once I take this motherboard out. Woo! Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? ASUS knows when it comes to crafting, when it comes to motherboards, and when it comes to quality. Now we'll take out this motherboard. Nice little thank you card from ASUS, which is even premium. It feels like almost like a metallic card. Now you have these stickers that we all love. We love the ROG stickers here. First off, I gotta show you this. This is pretty awesome. You can use this bottle opener to celebrate and drink a fresh brewski after you're done building. ASUS puts a lot of thought process when it comes to manual. They even have a quick start guide instead of just trying to find the page. It's right here in the front for you. If you have any questions at all, you can just look directly in the front instead of trying to flip through your manual. You're probably wondering what all this extra stuff is. This makes it easy here to help connect the wires, especially when it goes from your case to your motherboard. Now you have your SATA. A lot of motherboards don't really offer all of them. Some of them might offer one or two, but ASUS does give you all 4 wires if you need to connect them. Get ARGB wires if you feel that they are too short. You just connect it to this and you can plug it directly to your motherboard. This is your quick slide latch. This is something you would use. You just slide it right there on the top and it will actually latch over the drive. And all these are different ways to connect your SSDs, tons of different options, whichever is easiest for you. And of course, you have your antenna. Usually the motherboard will install it on the Windows for you if you install your OS. But if you have a hard time doing so, they do give you a USB where it will install all the drivers. Here is the A70E Crosshair Hero. It has a lot of great features that I really want to share with you guys because it is quite exciting. They put a lot of thought process because they listen to everybody out there on what type of motherboard that they exactly want. First off, I gotta mention is that this is a AM5 board, and AM5 boards can support up to AMD Ryzen 7000 series, 8000 series, and the 9000 series. Now, I'm really excited to share with you about the DDR5 RAM slots. Reason why? You're probably thinking exactly what is so exciting about it. Now, the first thing is, I gotta mention, you see these little sticks right here, or the little metal edges right there, that gives you a reinforcement. You install DDR5 RAM, it can get a little bit finicky, especially if you insert it the wrong way. In fact, increase it structurally to the point where you won't have any play when you install the DDR5 RAM. And that little detail right there helps reinforce your motherboard and your RAM sticks to prevent any type of damage. The second part is, if you take a really close look at these edges here, they're not just plastic. Actually, in here are metal edges. So when you install DDR5 RAM, it gives you less issue. It won't tether, it won't shake. All right, so we got it in there. Now, the good thing about the way they reinforce this motherboard is, if you really take a look at it, is that it causes less play, because now the reinforcement is more of a support. It's like a brace for your RAM. So it doesn't have as much wobble, especially that it doesn't have the plastic grabbers. On top of it, AMD has a new feature on their motherboard. And this new feature that AMD has is called the NitroPath DRAM technology. I'm gonna pull this one out right now just to show you what I mean. When you take a look here, they have these gold teeth. And with these gold teeth, they tend to get damaged over time because once you insert it inside of these little slots, it's more of an abrasive material that causes the connection for your RAM. And what ASUS does is instead of using an abrasive material, it actually just is more of a smooth connection, so that way you do not get the wear on top of your DDR5. Not only does it prevent any type of scuffing or wear, it actually increases your speeds because you have a more clean connection. If you're planning to install AMD Ryzen 7000 series or up to the 9000 series, the RAM speeds, they are up to 8200 mega transfers. ASUS has its own memory profile that is uniquely for the 870Es and has up to 18 power stages plus 2 plus 2. You'll never ever have to really worry about overvolting or too much power into a motherboard. You got the 2 release slots right here, which you will see a little bit further detail once we do the PC build when I install the graphics card. What that does is, it is a quick release. Once you install the graphics card, instead of actually using a button to release it, now you can easily push it and push it back out. That being toolless, you don't have to worry about reaching all the way inside to hit that notch to release the graphics card, where you don't have to worry about finding a button to release the graphics card. Also, another one here is, you probably see this one here, and that is one of the new features. It is a quick connect heatsink. So all you have to do is push this, and that comes right out. And there, you pull out your SSD, you just quickly install it just like this. We don't want to install it backwards there, but you install it just like that, quickly put it down there, and you see how that latch kind of pulls back right here? So as soon as you push it down, it'll latch into place here. I mean, just how easy is that? It's ridiculously easy. So you don't even have to worry about pushing over a little latch. And now if you just want to take out your NVMe, you just simply just pull it open and bam, it is out. That is the Q latch feature. We'll put that back on here and just that easy. Let me show you what it looks like under here so you can take a look at the M2 drives that ASUS's motherboard does offer, because they give you plenty of options when you install M2 drives that you don't ever have to worry about running out of space. Now, just mind you, you can only go up to 24x lanes. So you can use up to, if you do end up using 2 PCI Express X16 drives, that just know that it will throttle down your speeds. It has up to 5 M2 drives. It features up to 3 PCI Express 5.0 NVMe. So you can push up to PCIe 5 for 3 different slots here. They also have another 2 that you can resolve, which are PCIe 4. It does have M2's Q latch, as I showed you, Q release, and the Q slide. You have 10K black metallic capacitors. You have microfine alloy chokes. It does have the PCI Express switch down here on the bottom. And if you're wondering if it has ARGBs, of course it does. The headers are right here, these white ones. They're pretty obvious and they kind of stick out, so you know exactly what to aim for. On top of it, it does have your standard USB-C here on the bottom. It has your power connection here, USB 3.0 down here, and your USB 2.0 connections right down here. You also have your 2 fan connections and your thermal connection down here on the bottom. And you also have your audio connection, which is also important for everybody out there. Here is where your main connections are for your PC, from where you turn power on your PC. You got your TPM module. You also have another fan connection up here, USB-C once more, fans again. So you got plenty of fan connections. Now on the top, these are all either AIO. It also has 2 chassis fan connections. It does have the optional fan, or you want to use a water pump if you plan to use it to cool. You do have all your power connections that you mainly need, such as your ATX 24, and this will be for your power delivery if you plan to hook it up. It also has the Q code up here on the top, which is important for everybody out here who does want to diagnose if their motherboard does have some sort of issue or have an idea what's going on. It does have the flex key button up here, and it does have to start button up here on the top. This little button here, this is the reset button practically for this motherboard if you need to push it. A couple things that I am really excited about this motherboard that you may or may not know here. Now when you turn it to the side here, we're already used to seeing these SATA ports here. You have 4 SATA for, say, a internal 2.5 drive, and then now you have a U2, U3 drive. You can have up to 30 terabytes of storage if you really wanted to. Again, this is more for the professional side of usage if you are a content creator and a gamer. Now on top of it, you do also have the USB-C connection, USB 3.0. Let me go and flip this motherboard on the side because I am excited to show you what type of I/O this exactly does have. Take a look at this on the back here. You're gonna see the Wi-Fi 7 quick connects, because if you notice, they're a little bit different. They're not like your typical screw-ins. You have your SPDIF out, your audio line out in. Now you have 2 Ethernet connections. Now 5 gigabits is standard for all motherboards when it comes to the new 870 boards. It also features a 2.5 gigabit connection, and it does have the flashback BIOS. But when you go up here, this is where it is one of my more favorite parts. It has USB 4.0, which is my personal favorite. It has up to 40 gigabits per second on both. You can also use this as a display port. On top of it, 6 USB 3.2 Gen 2 connections, and it has 2 USB-C connections on the bottom, which are both 3.2 Gen 2. 6 different USB 3.2 Gen 2 connections and a HDMI port if you want to hook up directly through the processor. Most importantly, you do have BIOS flashback, and you do have a clear CMOS button. Take a look at this back here, which I personally love, which is the backplate. On the back of the board, it has such a premium design. Any type of grounding, and protects this motherboard very well because of that. ASUS puts in these motherboards is just incredible. If you want quality, I definitely gotta say ASUS is the way to go. And this motherboard does completely feature ProCool 2.0. So that is the ASUS ROG Hero right here, the 870E. Hopefully you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the PC build, make sure to click the card right above me. And also, if you're not part of the big wonderful fan bam, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell for all the newest updates. Make sure you follow my X handle right here, as it is the same as my TikTok and IG as well. Fan bam guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and ASUS, thank you for giving us a motherboard to check out because it is impressive. I hope all of you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.